What you are about to see is a police officer showing up at someone's door and asking about their firearm. The person inside has done nothing wrong. They are legally armed. But what happens in the next 60 seconds of that interaction will determine whether this stays a routine visit or becomes something they will spend the next year trying to undo in court. Most gun owners have no idea what to say in this moment, and the ones who do get it wrong almost always get it wrong the same way. I am Ben, and today we are breaking down exactly what the law says when a police officer wants to see your firearm, what your rights actually are, what the officer is legally allowed to demand, what he is not, and the exact words that keep a legal gun owner protected during a police encounter. Because here is what almost nobody tells you. Owning a firearm legally is one thing. Knowing how to interact with police while carrying that firearm is something completely different. And the gap between those two things is where most people make the kind of mistake that follows them for years. The first thing you need to understand is that there is no single national standard for how a gun owner is supposed to interact with police. The rules depend entirely on what state you are in, and the difference between states can be the difference between a routine interaction and a felony charge. There are two categories of states you need to know. The first category is duty to inform states. These are states where the law requires you to proactively tell an officer that you are carrying a firearm the moment contact is made. You do not wait to be asked. You do not wait to see if it comes up. The moment that officer approaches you, you are legally required to disclose that you are carrying. Ohio, Michigan, Texas, and about a dozen others fall into this category. If you are in a duty to inform state and you do not disclose, you may be committing a crime before the officer says a single word to you. The second category is no duty to inform states. These are states where you are not legally required to volunteer the information. If the officer does not ask, you do not have to say anything. Most constitutional carry states fall into this category. If you are in one of these states and the officer does not ask, saying nothing is legally protected. Before you ever carry a firearm in any state, you need to know which category that state falls into. This is not optional. This is not something you look up after the encounter. This is something you know before you put the holster on. Now, let us talk about what actually happens during the interaction, because this is where most people get into trouble. Step 1 is keeping your hands visible. Both hands go where the officer can see them immediately. They stay there. You do not reach for anything. You do not adjust anything. You do not move toward a waistband, a console, or a drawer. You stay completely still with both hands in clear view. This is not about compliance. This is about survival. An officer who does not know you and does not know what you have is in a vulnerable position. Any sudden movement toward a waistband from someone he cannot fully assess will trigger an immediate escalation. The firearm being legal does not change that reality. Hands visible, hands still. Step 2 is disclosing correctly if you are in a duty to inform state. Before the officer asks for anything, you say this: Officer, I want to let you know I have a valid concealed carry permit, and I am currently carrying. My firearm is on my right hip. How would you like me to proceed? That sentence does 4 things. It informs him as the law requires. It confirms the carry is legal. It tells him exactly where the firearm is, so there are no surprises. And it puts the next move in his hands, so that nothing you do comes as a shock to him. You say it calmly, you say it clearly, and then you stop talking and wait for his response. Here is where it gets critically important. After you disclose, or if you are in a no-duty state and the officer asks about the firearm, you need to understand exactly what he is legally allowed to do and what he is not. A police officer is legally allowed to temporarily secure your firearm during an encounter if he has reason to believe it is necessary for his safety. The Supreme Court has affirmed that officers can take reasonable precautions during stops and encounters. In many cases, this means he may ask to hold your firearm for the duration of the interaction. He may ask you to step away from it. What he cannot do is permanently confiscate your firearm without probable cause for an arrest. He cannot take a legal firearm simply because he sees it or you disclosed it. He cannot run your permit, find that it is valid, and then refuse to return the weapon. A legal firearm carried by a legal permit holder is not contraband. It cannot be treated as one. If an officer asks to see your firearm or asks to hold it, here is what you say: Officer, I am happy to cooperate. I am going to keep my hands visible. If you would like to secure the firearm yourself, please let me know. I do not consent to any search beyond that. That sentence matters. You are cooperating. You are being transparent, but you are also making clear that temporary safety measures are not the same as consenting to a full search. Now, let us talk about the scenario most people do not prepare for. The officer does not ask you to hand over the weapon. He does not ask to hold it. He asks to see it. He says, "Can I take a look at that gun?" This is a different question than most people realize, and the answer depends on exactly what he is asking. If he is asking to visually confirm the firearm exists and is where you said it was, that is generally considered a reasonable safety check. You can comply by showing him the holster without drawing the weapon. You keep your hands away from it. You let him look. If he is asking you to draw the weapon and hand it to him, that is a different situation. You do not draw a firearm and hand it to an officer unless he is the one drawing it from the holster himself. You say this, "Officer, for both our safety, I am not going to draw the weapon. If you would like to secure it yourself, I will keep my hands completely still and you can take it. I am fully cooperating." This is not defiance. This is safety. Reaching for a firearm during a police encounter creates an extraordinarily dangerous moment. Any officer who understands his job will understand why you are saying this. Let us also talk about what happens when the officer runs your permit. If you have a concealed carry permit, he is going to check it the same way he checks your license. He is confirming it is valid and checking for any flags. During this time, you wait. Both hands stay visible. You do not reach for the physical permit card unless he specifically asks for it. In most states, your permit is attached to your license in the database. He does not need the card. If he asks for the physical card, you tell him where it is before you reach for it. You say, "My permit card is in my wallet in my back pocket. I am going to reach back slowly to get it." Then you move slowly with one hand. Every movement during this encounter should be announced before you make it. This is not a legal requirement. It is a survival requirement. Here is something almost nobody prepares for. The officer runs your permit and it comes back with an issue. Maybe it expired. Maybe there is a clerical error. Maybe the system shows something that is not accurate. This is not the moment to argue. This is not the moment to explain that you renewed 3 weeks ago and the system has not updated. You say, "Officer, I understand what you are seeing. I am happy to cooperate while we sort this out." Then you cooperate fully. You do not reach for the weapon. You do not explain in detail why the system is wrong. You stay calm. You stay still. And you let the situation develop without adding fuel to it. If the permit issue is a system error, an attorney can resolve that. What an attorney cannot fix is a confrontation you created at the worst possible moment. There is one more thing you need to understand about what happens after you disclose. Some officers will ask you not to reach for the weapon. Some will ask you to step out of the vehicle entirely. Some will ask you to place your hands on the roof while they secure it themselves. All of these are lawful requests. All of them are things you comply with without argument. What you do not do is reach for the firearm on your own initiative at any point unless the officer has explicitly directed you to. You do not adjust the holster. You do not shift it to be more comfortable. You do not demonstrate that the safety is on. Nothing. The gun does not move unless an officer is directing that specific movement. That rule keeps you alive. Here is the situation that catches most people completely off guard. You are in a constitutional carry state. You do not have a permit because you do not need one. You are carrying legally without a permit. The officer asks, "Do you have a concealed carry permit?" You do not say, "I do not have a permit," and leave it at that. You say, "I am in a constitutional carry state, and I am exercising my right to carry without a permit. I am carrying legally." Then, you keep your hands visible and wait. The officer may not be familiar with your state's constitutional carry law. He may ask follow-up questions. Answer them directly and calmly. Do not get into an argument about the law at the door or at the window. If there is a dispute about the legality of your carry, the time to resolve that is in court with an attorney where the record shows you were calm, cooperative, and clearly stated your legal basis for carrying. One more scenario you need to be ready for. You are carrying. An officer makes contact with you, and he never asks about the firearm at all. He handles whatever brought him there and leaves. In a no duty to inform state, you say nothing. You answer what is asked. You do not introduce the firearm. The fact that you were carrying is not relevant to the encounter, and you have no legal obligation to make it relevant. In a duty to inform state, this scenario does not exist. You disclosed at the beginning of the contact. He acknowledged it. Whether he decided to address it further or not was his choice. Your obligation was to disclose. You did that. What you do not do in either situation is bring up the firearm at the end of an encounter where it was never addressed. You have either already disclosed, or you have no obligation to. Adding it at the end serves no one. Now here is the complete sequence from the moment contact begins to the moment the officer leaves. This is the exact procedure. The moment an officer approaches, both hands go where he can see them, and they stay there. If you are in a duty to inform state, you disclose immediately using the words I gave you. If you are not in a duty to inform state, you wait to be asked. You tell him where everything is before you reach for it. You move slowly. You announce every movement before you make it. If he asks about the firearm, you answer directly and calmly. You tell him where it is. You tell him your carry status. You do not volunteer extra information beyond what is asked. If he asks to hold the firearm during the encounter, you cooperate. You do not draw it. You keep your hands still and let him secure it. You say, I do not consent to any search beyond securing the firearm for the duration of this stop. When the encounter ends and your firearm is returned, you confirm it is being returned and you accept it. You do not immediately reholster in front of the officer. You wait until he has left. What you do after the encounter matters as much as what you do during it. Write down everything the moment it is over. Write down what state you were in and whether it is a duty to inform state. Write down exactly what words you used to disclose. Write down what the officer said, what he asked for, and whether he secured the firearm. Write down his name and badge number. Write down how long it lasted. If the officer took your firearm and did not return it, do not confront him at the scene. Get a name, a badge number, and a department. Call an attorney that day. A firearm taken without cause during a legal encounter is a Fourth Amendment violation. That is a case. But only if you have the record. Here is the reality that most gun owners never want to hear. Carrying a firearm legally means you are going to have more intense interactions with police than people who are not carrying. That is just true. An officer who sees or learns about a firearm is going to be more alert, more cautious, and more likely to ask you to do things that an unarmed person would never be asked to do. That is not a violation of your rights. That is a reality of what carrying means. Your job is to be the most calm, clear, and cooperative person that officer has ever encountered who was carrying a firearm. Not because you have to be, because it is the only version of this interaction that ends the way you want it to end. Cooperate with your body. Assert with your words. Know the difference between the two. The person who keeps both hands visible, discloses clearly, announces every movement, and calmly states their rights when asked, goes home, with their gun, with their rights intact, every single time. Say it now before your next time out. Officer, I want to let you know I am legally carrying. My firearm is on my right hip. How would you like to proceed? Say it until it comes out before you can think about it. Because the moment you need it, the thinking will already be over. One last thing. The gun owners who handle these encounters best are not the ones who know the most about firearms. They are the ones who have thought through this scenario before it happens. They have said the words out loud. They have decided in advance exactly how they will move, what they will say, and what they will not say. When the officer shows up at the door or walks up to the window, those people are calm because the decision was already made before the knock ever came. The people who struggle are the ones who assumed that being legally armed was enough preparation. It is not. Knowing the law is preparation. Practicing the words is preparation. Deciding in advance that you will keep your hands visible no matter what. That you will announce every movement. That you will say, I do not consent to any search beyond securing the firearm. That is preparation. You are legally armed. Now, be legally prepared.